concept is about variables, right? As the name suggests, so we have actually used variables already. So for example, imagine if I create a variable int a, okay? So as soon as I do this, what am I doing literally? I'm creating in my RAM or in my main memory, right? I'm creating space to store an integer value which I can access using a. That's what I'm doing literally, right? So here a is called a variable, right? Because it is basically a memory area that I'm creating where I can store I can store an integer value which changes or which varies over time, right? So the key thing about a variable is all variable names all variable names right, all variable names need to be identifiers. Okay, all variable names need to be identifiers in C, and we've seen what an identifier in C is, right? Number one, and all variables should have a data type, right? All variables should have a data type. Here for this, int is the data type and a is the name of the variable. And when I declare, and of course you have the semicolon as the end of every statement, right, in C, as we have seen earlier. Now one thing that is important here is, suppose I have a code like this. Let's assume I have a simple code like this, main, right? If I say int a, right, and now if I say a equals to 10, what happens now? The value 10 will be stored in this memory location, but I can change this and say a equals to 5. Now what happens? This memory value will change and it will become 5. So a variable here is basically something that can vary over time as the program runs, right? As the program runs from this line to this line, the value that is stored in this variable a has changed from 10 to 5, or it has varied, and hence the name variable, right? So every variable name has to be an identifier in C, and every variable needs to have a data type in C. Okay. The other important thing here is that there are two concepts with respect to a variable. One is called the declaration of a variable and initialization of a variable. Okay, so let me give you some simple examples for them. Okay, suppose you imagine. So declaration basically means stating that there exists a variable. Look at this. This is called declaration. Okay, why is it called declaration? Because you're declaring to the compiler that I want to create a variable called a, which is of type integer, where I want to store integers in here. Okay, that's why it's called the declaration statement. Okay, so simple examples of declaration are like this, right? I can say int a, and you have to always declare. Remember, you have to always declare. Okay, so you have to always declare a variable before using it in C. If you don't declare it, the C program or the C compiler does not know that there is a variable that you need to use. Again, there are three parts: declaration, initialization, and usage of a variable, right? So before you use a variable, okay, before you use a variable, you have to declare it. Otherwise C will throw an error and say, I don't know what a means, you have not yet declared it. Okay, so a couple of other examples of declaration is, if you want to declare a float f. Okay, so here you're declaring a variable whose name is f, which is of type float. Similarly, char. Okay, you can type char c. You can have char c, which means c is now a variable which is of type char. Okay, typically in C, as a good programming habit, we always have variable names. Typically, we always have variable names as a good programming habit, starting with lowercase characters. We typically have with lowercase characters, and or we use underscore to start. One of these two things, right? So we can use any of them, because an identifier, right? An identifier, because a variable name has to be an identifier, so it can be a lowercase character or an underscore. We typically use lowercase characters to represent variable names. Okay, so we at least start with a lowercase character, if not the whole thing. Okay, so we could have f name. Okay, so this is okay, but we typically start. This is not mandatory, this is just a good programming practice. Typically variable names start with a lowercase character or an underscore, most likely lowercase characters. It's just a good programming habit. so that as soon as you see it, you know what a variable name is. Very importantly, we should always give variable names that are easy to read. Okay, variable names that are easy to read, the program. Okay, suppose imagine I'm creating a ID for students, an integer ID. I could say int ID. So now I know that this variable ID stores user or student IDs. Okay, so try to give variable names which are easy to read and understand. Okay, of course I could have given anything here. I could have said int x, right? That is syntactically correct, but it makes reading the code much harder. Okay, so you want to make your code really easy to read and understand. That's why you want to give variable names that are easy to read or easy to interpret and understand. This is again a good programming practice in general. Okay, so now let's go back to declaration of variables, right? So now let's go so we have seen the declaration of variables, right? We have seen how to declare a float. You can also declare a char or a double. So all of these are called declarations of a variable. When you're declaring a variable, you're literally, when in the part of declaration, you're literally declaring or you're informing the compiler that I want to create this variable whose name is a, which is of type integer, which I'll reuse later or which I'll use later. Okay, so that's what declaration means. The second part is called initialization. So initialization basically means I want to initialize my variable with some value. Suppose look at this. When I say int a here, okay, what happens? In the RAM there is some value created, and so in the RAM, so look at this RAM, right? In the RAM there is some memory created. Okay, let's say this is 2 bytes. Let's say on our computer integer takes 2 bytes. So there is 2 bytes of memory created which I can access using the name a. Now what is filled inside this? It could be any number. It could be any random number that could be filled, because I have not initialized a to any specific value. It could be any number. It could be any integer. Any valid integer could have been placed here. But if you want a specific value at the time of creating that, you can say, imagine if I say this, int a equals to 10. What am I doing here? I'm both declaring a variable here and I am initializing the variable here. So what happens in this case is, you have your RAM here, right? You have your RAM. It will create 2 bytes of memory, okay, which I can access using the name a. And instead of storing some random number here, it will store 10. That's what is called the initialization of variables. Okay, there are multiple ways you can initialize variables. Let me show you some examples. Of course, this is the simplest way. Similarly, I can say char c equals to a. Okay, you'll represent all characters in single quotes. Okay, so this says that you want to store a in a variable called c, right, and which is of type character. Okay, all these characters you'll represent with single quotes. Okay, it's a single quote, not a double quote. Okay, very important. Okay, so similarly you can initialize a float. Okay, you could have said float f equals to 0.23. This is valid, right? Or you could have said, let's take double, right? Double d equals to 1.2 e7. You can use this notation. This is called the scientific notation of representing large numbers. So you can write it this way. When you say 1.2 e7, what it does is it represents this as 1.2 into 10 power 7. That's how it reads this. Okay, you can initialize a double variable or a float variable using the scientific notation. Okay, similarly you could have said double d. Equals to 1.2 e minus 7. So what does this mean now? This means 1.2 into 10 power minus 7. That's what this means. So we are writing this in scientific notation. Or you can write it in this form if you want. You can write as 0.23, 0.12. You can write it whichever way you want. Okay, or the scientific notation. If you have large numbers that you want to represent, you can use scientific representation. Now there are other ways to initialize also. Similarly, even when you're declaring variables, right? You could say, if you want to declare multiple variables of type int, right? In that case, instead of writing int a, int b, int c, int d, there is a shorthand, int a, b, c, d. Okay, if you write this, it will literally create 4 variables, or it will declare 4 variables A, B, C, D, all of them are of type int here. Okay, so here what are you doing? You're declaring multiple variables in a single line. Similarly, for initialization also you can do this. You can say int A equals to 5, comma, B equals to 2. So what happens now? It will now create a variable called A in your RAM. In your RAM, it will create a variable called A, right? And it will store 5 in that. So you're declaring a variable and you're initializing a variable here. Now B, because it's all in the same line, so A is also of type integer, B is also of type integer. So it will create another memory location called B, right, which I can access using B, wherein I'll store 2. And both A and B here are on the same line. So this is basically initializing multiple variables and declaring and initializing multiple variables in a single line. Okay, this is valid in C, right? So what we saw here is declaring multiple variables in a line, in a single line, without initializing them. This is the case where I'm initializing it also. You could have 2, 3, any number of them, right? Similarly, you could also have a slightly different variation also. You could say int A comma B comma C equals to 0. So what this does is, it creates 3 variables ABC. It creates 3 variables ABC, right? It creates 3 variables ABC, and in each of these variables it will place 0. Okay, so this is another type of initializing or actually declaring and initializing. This is your declaration part, this is your initialization part, where all of them have to be initialized to the same value. You could also do it in a single line like this. Again, this is a much more succinct and much more shorter way to write it than to write lengthier code. See, this I could have written it as int A. See, what is the longest way of writing it? I could write it as int B, right? I could write it as int C, and I can say A equals to 0, B equals to 0, C equals to 0. So instead of writing these 6 lines of code, you could have written all of that very succinctly or very in short, right? Very elegantly in just one line if you know this syntax. So this is also one way of initializing and declaring multiple variables and initializing all of them to a single value. Okay, so all these are valid ways, and variables are at the very crux of most programming that we do. Okay, the key thing that you have to remember is all variable names got to be identifiers, which means you can't have a variable name like if. This is not valid. You can't have a variable name like for. This is not valid, because these are keywords. These are not identifiers, these are keywords. And each of them need to have a data type, and you got to declare them before you initialize or use them. Okay, usage basically means you have already initialized it, now you are using it in your program, either as part of your for loop or as part of your if else or as part of your printf, whatever you want to use, right? So this is what variables are all about. There is another related concept called constants that we will see in the next video. Okay, so we have seen variables, right, which can be varied or which change over time in a program. Constants don't. Okay, we'll come to constants in the next video.